From Vietnam's shutdown of over 86 million bank accounts for failing biometric verification to Mexico's new mandatory biometric CURP or CURP ID rolling out nationwide to track everything from banking to healthcare. The world is racing towards a surveillance economy. Now in the US, the freshly signed Genius Act is tightening the screws on digital assets with anti-money laundering rules that experts say could soon mandate biometrics for everyday finance, eroding privacy one scan at a time. Joining us today to unpack this global trend toward financial control and what it means for your freedom is my friend Gerald Celente. He's a renowned trend forecaster and the publisher of the Trends Journal. Gerald, I know you've been writing about this for a long time, but it's all coming together now. The question is, how quickly does it come here?
It could come tomorrow. I mean, think of the word stable coin. Orwell couldn't come up with a better name. Who made up this crap? Stable coin. CBDC, central bank digital currencies. We know every penny is spent, what you spent it on, when you spent it, and where you spent it. And most importantly, by knowing that, we get every penny for tax dollars, so we could steal all the money from you that we can. They're going to go digital currencies. We wrote about this years ago. One of the covers of our Trends Journal magazine was from dirty cash to digital trash. They're going to use this also as a way to bring down the debt crisis. This new digital coin now is worth X amount more than the dollar, the euro, the this or the that.
Yep.
Everything is going digital. Again, you have to make connections between different fields.
Hey, shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, Elder Bishop, the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to you fellow brothers pushing out this word and truth and sincerity, Shebach Chanak. Coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Okay, back at it again. This is going to be a in-transit lesson. And sparked from a video I was watching with... I might throw a clip up, or I'll just put the link in the description box, either or. You know, it was Gerald Celente, and it was this one other chick. She's an Italian chick. She has a show. What's her name? I forget her name. But I'll try to. I'll at least put the link in the description box or the comment board, so you, if you want to check that video out. And they're going into, you know, what we've been talking about, and that's, you know, the collapse of the financial system here in America, okay, and the implementation of a digital control through, all right, CBDCs, all right, and digital IDs. And basically, in order for the digital currency to work, whether you want to call it a stable coin or a CBDC, central bank digital currency, or whatever the hell you want to call it, a crypto coin, whatever the hell you want to call it, there has to be a digital ID that's attached to it. And more news is coming out, more receipts. All right, they were speaking about basically Mexico just made the digital ID, the biometric. I'll read the title of the article. It says, Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. And you're going to hear that word mandatory a lot, or compulsory. You're going to hear that a lot, okay, when it comes to these digital IDs. Why is Mexico doing it? Right, the UK did it, which the UK is the financial, England, the financial hub, all right, one of the 3 city-states. So it only made sense that, you know, England would be one of the first, or if not the first, to make it mandatory. Okay, and now all of a sudden, Mexico is making it mandatory. Well, that's on the other side of the world. That's the so-called Latino country. Why are they making digital IDs mandatory? Okay, so there's more receipts, man. Okay, while you have these other Israelite groups speaking about, madness, really keep the laws, and yeah, we established the law, but what about prophecies that's actually taking place? What about the mark of the beast? And the digital ID is not the mark of the beast. That's not what it is. Nevertheless, it is the precursor, all right, of that system, all right, that it will be mandatory, all right, that will be mandatory in the very near future, or is actually being set up right before our eyes. So let me read a little bit of this article. I'm driving, so I'm not going to read too much. The point is really just in the title. They made it mandatory, okay? And all these other countries are going to follow suit because this is a worldwide system. This is a worldwide system. I'm not going to make this video long, okay? Lord's will. Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previous optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. So you're going to see that. That's going to be the trend. These nations, whether they fight with each other or not, they're all going to move towards mandatory digital IDs, which are precursors to the digital money. Because the digital money is going to be tied to your biometrics through a digital ID system. We've been telling you here at Great Millstone, we keep telling you about what's getting ready to come, and videos like this, they're not really popular. Jake want to see, Esau and and one of the brothers fight, or the white woman bow down, or some type of controversy. And even in the video where Gerald Celente was speaking, which he's Sicilian, which he's a Jake, and I believe that chick, she's Italian too, and she's a Jake. I believe she's a Jake. And they talk about financial news and, what's getting ready to happen. They were talking about gold, how gold jumped again. And as gold gets higher, that means that your currency, it gets weaker to the point to where they're going to have to do a reset. All right. And the reset is going to be through a digital coin. All right. Now, Gerald Celente says, when all else fails, they take you to war. So you're gonna go to war as well. And Yahushua spoke. Let me get Matthew the 24th chapter, because our Lord spoke about all these events that are happening, and what would be signs that the end was coming. What would be signs that he will come. Also, the scripture in Isaiah speaks about new things I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. All right. So the Lord, he has given us the insight to what is getting ready to happen. And he has given us, give me a second, and he has given us signs to look for. And all the signs are pointing towards, what John the Revelator saw, where it says that if you did not have this MAR to the K, you were not able to buy and sell. And on certain levels, they're able to actually push you out of the system just through the, digital ID, just through the digital money and digital systems. But it's going to be fully implemented. Their full goal is to tie it to inside you, so you actually cannot run. You can't, put your phone down, or you can't fake a copy of it. You might be able to be savvy in the computer, and people make digital documents that can bypass the system. It's going to no longer be like that. That is going to actually be inside you now. Okay? So let me get this. All right, because once again, it's looking like Great Millstone was right, which we are right, which is not of us. It was just, the Lord, he gave us the word, and we're speaking, thus said the Lord, and we're not changing it up. We're not putting a cherry on top, making it sweet for you. Now we're warning you of the things that are actually getting ready to happen. Okay, and we're not making it politically correct. We're not making it nice so it won't offend anybody. Okay, hey, it is what it is. This is Matthew 24 and 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. All right, and that's actually happening as well. Another signs is up uproars of the people. That's also happening. You just had another coup, right? They're calling these coups the Gen Z coup. You had one, what was that, in Tibet or somewhere? It was like a couple weeks ago or a month ago. You know, you had a coup. And I believe a lot of them were Jake too. I forget exactly what country, but you just had one now with Madagascar. Another coup, overthrowing government. So that's part of it too, because they're setting a system in place, making sure everybody is playing ball. Because this is going to be a worldwide thing. All nations are adopting our digital money, our digital currencies, and a digital ID system. It's plain. I mean, it's literally plain. Why aren't these other Israelite groups telling you this? Okay? It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war. See that ye be not troubled. All right? Bear with me. I'm just driving. And I'm in Baltimore too, so, you know, you got to be careful out here. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. Yeah, these things must come to pass. All right? So we're not troubled as these things come. We're actually invigorated that these things are actually here. Okay, and that's giving us more inspiration to cry out even more. Okay, and not to spare anybody. It doesn't matter. Prophecy is going to come to pass whether you like it, believe it or not. You can scoff all day long. You're still going to be confronted with a digital ID. You're still, that's just it. And Gerald Celente and the other chick, Daniela, I think they call it Daniele or Daniela. She was asking, okay, how do we get out of this? What do we do? How can we get out of what's getting ready to happen? And really, they have no answers. Okay? Because you cannot stop what's happening. And the point I was going to make earlier is Gerald Celente is basically cursing out the people of America, saying they're like zombies. They only believe it if it's on TV. He quoted that was a quote from was it FDR? I forget exactly what president. Basically they only believe it. Americans only believe it once it's on TV. And he was basically cursing out America, saying they only know what's going on in pop culture. These different celebrities. They'll tell you everything. These Americans can tell you everything that's going on as far as celebrity gossip. All right, but if you ask them what the price of gold is, okay, because they were talking about gold and how gold just jumped again. And gold, I remember when gold was, $1,500. Even before that, before, in the pandemic, it started to go up. But it was like $1,800, $1,900. That's when it started to go up more. But now I believe it's over $4,000. Let me look it up again, because it just jumped recently, and they were saying how, basically it's not in the news, because if people knew why gold was going up, they will be hoarding gold right now, and all the people that are in the know, they're buying gold. And what does that signify? What does that represent? That represent your currency is being devalued. Okay. Gold prices today. Gold is at 4,200, almost $4,300, and gold just keeps jumping. And when gold jumps up like that, that means your dollar is devalued. Okay, that means your dollar has less buying power, and this is why they are bringing in a digital system. Okay, digital money to try to escape, all right, this debt crisis. All right, and do basically like a reset. A reset with digital money. So all these Americans are getting ready to experience digital money, and not just all the Americans, all citizens. Just like Mexico, literally, they have now a mandatory digital ID system. Why? Why are they doing it? I thought they were against America. I thought they wanted to break away from, because everybody is moving towards that direction. And guess what? Guess who the president of Mexico is? It's one of those JJs. It's a woman. It's one of them tiny top women. How the hell did that happen? How is the president of Mexico a woman? Okay, a woman. All right, cool. How is it a small hat? How does that even work? What just shows you that they're behind it all. They crawl their ass into all governments, okay? And they took over all governments, and now it's time for them to start rolling out this system simultaneously, okay? And the citizens have no power to stop it. They can protest like Trump. He got these different troops in these cities because you can protest the digital ID. They already got the troops waiting for your ass. You're not going to stop it. Okay, you can't stop prophecy. We did the lesson. I did the lesson on Apostle Elder Tahar and then the Elder Pashai. Okay, you can't stop prophecy. Okay, this thing is coming, and in a lot of cases, it's already here. They're literally finishing up, rolling out the next stage. They're pretty much rolling out the next stage, and that is what? First is before the digital money is to establish a digital ID, because the digital money has to be tied to a physical person through your biometrics. Bio meaning life. You are that life force. And then ultimately, they're going to go as far as say, you know, the other systems weren't as secure. So there's this new way that people are putting CHIPs inside of them. And it's so convenient and it's more secure. Okay? And then they're going to say, you know what? It's mandatory. All right, so that's literally what's happening. You can fight against it all you want. You can fight against it all that you want. You can say, oh, it ain't them niggas at GMS. They don't know what they're talking about. They keep talking about the MOTB. Did this all they talking about? You know, regardless of that, it's still coming. It's here. Okay, and each nation is going to continue to adopt these measures. All right, because it's prophecy. He calls of all. Okay, it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So as all these things happen, all right, there's also going to be earthquakes. There's going to be these different earthquakes. All right, there's going to be different diseases. All right, there's going to be famine. It's all going to happen. It's all happening simultaneously as this damn devil, he basically brings in this new system. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And you see people are in a sorrowful state. You see people, the new term now is crashing out. You see that they're crashing out. They're economically in distress. They're psychological. Their mind is in distress. They don't have the ability to do the things that they used to. Things don't hit the same. The alcohol don't taste the same. The food don't taste the same. The medical system is not the same. And then there's an overload of all this information on social media. Okay? It's a flood of information. It's what's right, what's wrong. Nobody knows. Okay? And then the infrastructure is breaking down. People's minds are breaking down. People are turning on each other. You know, there is no love. Right? Let me jump down, because it talks about that. Verse 12, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. That word cold, when you go into the Greek, is psycho, which goes into somebody that's mentally unstable. So you got a bunch of people high, drunk all the time. Okay, furthermore, drunk off of the wine of Babylon, which is not conducive to you. It actually destroys you, and it makes you dependent on the government for handouts, and it just destroys your mind, and it puts you in a snare, in a trap. So now the trap is getting ready to be, the buttons get ready to be hit, and the cage is getting ready to be shut on you people, and there's nothing that you can do, because you can't fight against the digital ID. I mean, you can do it, but you're going to be deemed, seditious. You're going to be deemed enemy of the state, a domestic terrorist, and then you're going to be actually cut out of the system. More importantly, okay, you're going to be cut out. If you go to your favorite store, you want to go to Whole Foods, or you want to go to a market, all right, you want to rent a car, you want to buy a home, but in order to do those things, you need a digital ID. How can you resist? and it's adopted by all the government. Oh, I'm going to Mexico. Mexico, I'm going there. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to Venezuela. And it's there too. So you gotta tap into the system regardless, and the whole system's all going to be interconnected. Okay, like I said, it said if because iniquity shall abound, sin. Okay, the breaking of the law. All right, these are why these things are happening to these people. This is judgment of the Heavenly Father. He's judging this place, and the people are so reprobate that they can't see it. Well, 2 Ezra the 9th chapter says how is that 9? I believe that's 9, where it says scourges for amendment, but it might be 16. It might be 16 actually. It talks about these are scourges for amendment. Amendment is the change. Like you amend the law, you basically change the law. You reconfigure it. So here it is. The judgment is for you to get right, and the people don't know that the evil man understand our judgment. And then you have the devil telling everything's all right. Really, the answer to our problems is going to be because we need to adopt digital currency. The answer to our problem is because we need to adopt digital money. It's safer, it's faster, less criminals. The answer to our problems is we need more control over the people through military, a police state. Okay, so you fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Okay, and you're too far deep. You're too far gone. Overweight, bloated, brain fog, drunk off of Christianity. Okay, lascivious. You're given to pleasures. All right, you have no property, or the property that you do have, you still pay taxes. You still can't do what you want to do on your property. You can't just build something on your property. Neither do you have the resources to do it. Furthermore, the people around you are nothing but dirtbags. So they'll come and they'll steal the things that you have. Okay? I'm done there. Let me go back to that article really quickly. All right. So gold is going up. It's going to be $5,000 pretty soon. And what you're seeing is your money that you have that you get from your paycheck, it doesn't stretch like it used to. You used to be able to go to the grocery store, spend $120, $150. Don't spend $200. You get a whole bunch of shit. You can eat for goddamn 2-3 weeks. You can feed a family of 4 or 5. A pack of chicken is $5. 20 pack. You can go and get go to a fast food restaurant and eat for nothing. And the food didn't disturb you like the food disturbs you now. You can get a box of Ritz crackers, and you can get your cakes and your snacks that people love to eat. You can go watch a movie. You can go take a girl on a date. Don't go date. You're literally trying to date these women and trying to impress these women. You take them out on a date. Don't go nowhere. They want to go somewhere expensive and the wine and the fine dining, a French restaurant with a French kitchen and shit. They want to drink a Pinot Noir and Pinot Grigio and fresh halibut and shit. Don't do that. You gonna run up a ticket. Don't take her out to a movie or go. Don't do that. You gonna run up a ticket. Give me a second. Because everything's so goddamn expensive. Okay? Everything is so goddamn expensive now. Because your money is being devalued. It's not real money. Okay? Furthermore, it's fiat. What is it? So be it. Okay, I believe fiat means so be it, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previous optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. Last month, legislators approved amendment to a law related to the 18-character personal identifier. See that? So they passed it. They already made it into a law but they said it was optional. See, they said it was an optional system, so they got it in there. People are like, okay, it's optional, but then they came and they amended it, meaning they changed it. So that's what they do. They bring in the law, all right, and it might not be the exactly law that they want that's going to give them full control, but at least they got it in there. And then while the people are distracted, all right, what do? They go in and they amend that law, but they already got most of it passed. Okay, this is what the devil has done, and he's always been using these tactics, and the people are unaware. This is why the scriptures say we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay, we are not ignorant of what Satan, how Satan get down. So we can identify, okay, and pinpoint, hey, this is what Satan is doing. Look, see, and now we're seeing he can't hide himself now. He's rolling it out, and none of you. Let's see what the false prophets got to say. Me and the apostle we was going into earlier, okay, about China being basically the example of the digital system that's being established now, and then we just start going in really on IUIC and ISUPK because on the MOTB, and we I can't wait to see, and they're already doing it. They might throw a microchip in there. How they're going to spin, okay? How they're going to spin, what's happening now? Because you can't how long can you speak against, okay, the MOTB? How long can you speak against these things when the system is actually being set up all around you? A digital siege is being laid all out in front of you. Okay? And we're here to warn. Okay, we're here to warn the people. And Jake is taking the prophets for granted. Okay? As the scriptures say, they abuse my ways. Jake is taking, what we're saying for granted. Okay, bear with me. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let's park this car. All right. It says, but let me read that again. It says, last month, legislators approved amendments. Look at this word amendments. Look up. A minor change or addition designed to improve a text piece of legislation. A revision. That's what they wanted to do already. They brought it in and say, no, hey, look, the digital ID system, it's only if you want it. How did they say? They said it's optional. Okay, this is optional, man. You don't have to take it, man. Look, man, this is optional. And then all of a sudden, nope, it's mandatory now, nigga. Got you. What can you do? You already let it pass. Your mind is geared on Xbox and PlayStation, and going to college and getting a bag and traveling the world. You don't have time to know what the government is doing. Okay? So now your ass is grass. And this is how they got pretty much the whole world. And they got their agents in all these governments. All these leaders are agents. And if they don't want to adopt that system, what happens? A coup. What happens? They get taken out. What happens? They go to war. Okay, Afghanistan, Syria, Iran. You're gonna see the system of Iran is going to get down with that system. Russia is getting down with that system. Everybody is getting down with that system. Why? Mexico. You're gonna see all these different Central and South American countries get down with that same system. Even if they oppose, like the BRICS, even if they oppose so-called America. Okay? So, what does the false prophet have to say? Okay, let me just, I bring the scripture out a lot. Let me bring it out again. All right, because it don't get old. Habakkuk 2, and we're going to close it. 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And just going back to that video with Gerald Celente and Daniela or Daniele, I forget exactly how I pronounce her name. They're like, they can bring out all these different things that are happening, and they see what's happening, but they're like really lost for words, that there's nothing that they can do about it. You know, because there is nothing that you could do about it, because the people, the average citizen is totally oblivious, all right, to what's getting ready to go down. Okay, it's totally oblivious to what's getting ready to go down. Okay, but again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. It's coming and it's here. All right, so hey, I pray the lesson was edifying. Till next time, shalom to the elect.